Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing a full face of old favorites. This was an idea that Carolina had because she commented on an old video I did like this, and I was like, ooh, I'd like to revisit some old favorites. And then recently I've seen online other people doing full faces of their yearly favorites from years ago. And I always do like a revisitation of the favorites of the year before on the current. So this year I would do taking back a look at the favorites of 2020 and see if I still love them. But I actually wanted to just combine these and go into my collection and take out the oldest makeup that I have that has survived declutters and that I've used for a long time. And that was my favorite. So I'd like to try that out today. I have my skincare on. I have the Paula's Choice Defense SPF 30, so that's a tiny little bit of the glow that you see. It helps a lot. The tiredness is because Andrea is going through a leap, so she's waking up at night again after not waking up at night for a long time. So I'm not ready for that, if you can see my eyes. But let's get started. Let's start with the base. Product that I've used to love a lot was the Herborian Bamboo Matte Cream Effect Powder, and I used to mix it together with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I still have it here. I always take a break from this in summer because it's a thicker foundation or more higher coverage foundation, so I don't usually use it. And I'm gonna take 1.5 pumps of that and a little bit of that primer or cream, let's say, but I use it always as a primer, and mix them together on the back of my hand and get them nicely in the brush and then apply them to my face. I haven't used this combo in quite some time, but it used to be a favorite. And I also still have the Nabla Foundation that used to be a favorite, but that one is closed. So I don't wanna, like I finished the one I had and I bought a new one, and that one is still closed. Ooh, this actually matches me quite well now. The undertone is a bit off, and that's always been because it's an N, it's a N2 shade, and I am more of a warm toned, so it's slightly off, but not too bad. And by the way, talking about foundation, did you guys buy the Lisa Eldridge foundation? I didn't. I'm waiting for the cards to come back in stock so that I can get the lighter set of the light medium and find the right shade for me, and then I will only buy it once I'm through my medium coverage foundations, because, or yeah, like this one for example, because I have too many foundations, and the Nabla one that's still closed. So a very old favorite of mine is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have the shade 20 Sand still, and this one is open, but I think I only ever swatched it. So let's see, I should probably also try to use this. Ooh, this is darker than I thought. Probably not the right shade to use with the winter foundation, more of a summer shade for me. I had also the shade 10, I think, that is the light, and this is 20 Sand. Ooh, but it blends out okay. Oh, it blends out okay. It looked much darker in as applying it. And the foundation, as you can see, is quite a bit more coverage than I'm used to, but mixed together with that cream, it makes for a very nice light to medium coverage, and that is kind of as far coverage as I would go nowadays. I mean, this I feel covers all of my redness that I have on my cheeks, or most of my redness on my cheeks here as well, and I think the skin looks pretty nice like this. Bring my mirror closer to myself to see how the under eye is looking. Pretty okay, kind of what I'm used to. But now let's throw a curveball and use a very old favorite of mine. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Loose Powder. This one is full, but it's because there's so much product. There's 35 grams of product. It's one of these powders I would never ever finish because it is mattifying, quite mattifying, and it has a very good like dispenser so that you really can get a little amount out, and you don't have to use a ton. So I'm taking this little Glam Shop T127 brush and making sure to tap off the excess. Oh, the blurring effect, can you see it? It's super mattifying, but it also blurs incredibly well. Like, I can't see my pores anymore. And it has a little bit of color that I can see. I don't know that I would go for this effect anymore though. I'm also curious how it wears. To be honest, with base products, it's always a question of how it wears in the end. But it is blurring, but in a very, yeah, 2017 type of way. So it looks even a little bit, I don't want to say cakey. It's not cakey. It looks powdered. Is that the thing that I'm supposed to say? And I still have so much here, so I'm just gonna put it away. But at least the center of my face is powdered. Then I am going to go in on the rest of my face with another old favorite. This is the Unlocked palette by Hourglass. This is from 2018, holiday 2018. I still use it. I haven't used it in a while actually, and I picked it up the other day and I was like, wow, why haven't I used this more often? And this one has, you see, a bit of a more glowy setting powder. This is one of their ambient lighting powders right here. For bronzer, I'm gonna pull out another very old favorite, which is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This one survives all of the declutters, even though this one as well is from probably 2017. But it's just still so good. And I always think, oh, it's not that pigmented, but as you can see, this is a little bit of a stiffer brush maybe, or denser brush for bronzer, but yeah, I still love it. The scent has gone though. Does that mean I really should stop? Very, very faint. The scent is almost gone. Maybe I should stop using it and actually throw it, but it's still pretty good, I would say. Then who of you remembers the passion for the Tarte 12-hour Amazonian clay 12-hour brushes? This is the shade Risque, and I bought this, oh, poor Andrea. And I bought this in the States, so this is also from 2017. And I haven't used matte blushes in quite some time. In quite some time. And I know why. It looks so much less interesting than when you apply a luminous blush. And that has been all the craze in the last few years, and also a part of my collection that has really gone up. And also I barely use, as I said, matte blushes anymore. This is still a very pretty color, but I find that it's quite flat. I don't know, can you say that? I'm just gonna take another favorite from, this is 2019 I think, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Quad in the Ghosts edition, I guess, the one with the hideous transparent packaging, and just taking this nude blush right here and adding some luminosity. And more color apparently, that was not the idea, but it does indeed add quite a bit more color. I remember these were very sheer, but I clearly remember incorrectly. And for highlighter, I want to go even further back in time, and that's the Anastasia and Amrezy collaboration. I didn't buy it the first time it launched, so it's not in itself that old, but I did buy it when it re-released. And I haven't been wearing much of highlighters lately, and also not very beaming highlighters, more like Nabla Skin Glazing or the Pixie Duo. So this one is, now I'm trying to apply it as lightly as possible, because as you know, this one can go on like really, really intense. And this is still okay. I think it emphasizes my texture a bit more than I'm used to, because it's quite present. Interesting. I haven't used this in so long that I always assume these are favorites, but indeed, I don't know that I would use this anymore. I'm almost keeping it for like sentimental reasons more than anything else. Maybe for things like this video, but moving on to brows. I am going to do my brows as I do them now. But this is an old favorite that I still use to the day, and this is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade. This is in the shade Chocolate. And yeah, to be honest, is this a favorite? I still really like the effect. I wouldn't be using it still after panning it and things like that if I didn't still like the versatility of it, to be honest, because you can go in and really just make brush strokes so that it looks like little hair, like you would with a marker. But you can also decide to go heavier handed and do a full on like heavier brow or a more blended brow. So you really get a lot of versatility from this one. I really like it, and I didn't use it this way at the beginning, right? You remember the times that we would just do a line under here to define the brow super sharply? My goodness. I don't do that anymore. I did it for a brief period, I believe, and it's just too harsh, I find. So nowadays it's more about the individual hair strokes, and this product is still very, very good. And one of the good things it is waterproof, but you can still, like, once you apply it, you can still like blend it out a little with a spoolie or the brush, or yeah. So that's how I do my brows with the Dipbrow. Still a favorite. This is actually in my project pan. My goodness, I don't like my blush or face makeup. Interesting. See, old favorites, maybe not current favorites anymore. For the eyeshadow, we're taking out a very old favorite. This is the Dose of Color Frontication palette. It was the collaboration between Dose of Colors and Katie and Desi. And it was a firm favorite of mine. I love it. It was also super innovative because of the texture of the shadow. Like, these are the first wet looking sparkle eyeshadows, type of toppers, not super pigmented base, but all this incredible texture, and they feel much less emollient than the formulas now, which I actually think is nicer because they crease less. It was such a innovative formula. They definitely did a great job with that one. I am going to start with this shade right here, which is a skin tone shade to apply at the highest up of my crease and my transition shade, let's say. It's, as you can see, a shade that I can wear and you will see it. It's not only to set my primer, which I had already placed, by the way, just my usual Milani eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to be doing a cranberry look, so I'm gonna go in with this reddish warm red shade in the crease and more structurally everywhere. The mattes feel a little bit more powdery than I remember, but it could be because the brush I was using is quite stiff. So let me try with this. Is a Zoeva 227, a classic shader blending crease brush. Yeah, now it blends much better. I was just using too stiff of a brush for that shade. And then I can tell you that they still blend and perform as I remember them too. I just needed the right bit of a softer brush. I'm going to go in with the dark brown to deepen the outer V. Just a very classic Alice look, I guess. And of course, I would have gone immediately for that olive shade, but I wanted to do something a bit different than usual. And one of my favorite shade in this palette has always been that gold, champagne gold shade that I've swatched at the beginning. This one right here. I've used it so much. It has a significant dent in it. To continue on that throwback train, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer, which I haven't used in ages. Just take a drop of that. It's still good though. Like, I gave it a little bit of a mix in the tube before I took it out, but it seems to still work well. And Do a cut crease. How long has it been since you guys have done a cut crease? Okay, I know a lot of people still do cut creases more often, but I haven't done one in a long time. Also, I always do half because they don't suit my eye shape otherwise. And I don't like to over apply the primer, because I find that then the eyeshadows look cakey. And this is more an effect of applying a white lighter base. So I'm gonna go in with that cranberry shade with my finger, a little bit at least, to get the most coverage. And then I'm gonna go in with a brush to do the edges. Because of course we do a cut crease, but then I just liberally apply the shadow as if I were blending it. So that's a bit pointless. Is it possible that my camera stopped recording and the funnest part of all, I tried to do wing liner? This is what came out. It's not symmetrical, it's not flattering to my hooded eyes, but it's a throwback video, so we're gonna stick with it. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna use an old favorite, which is a NYX Faux Black pencil in the shade Burnt Sienna. Just a warm reddish brown, and then applying just the red shade again, the matte red, on my lower lash line. Oh, that eyeliner, you guys. Don't be mean in the comments, but let's laugh together for the fact that I cannot apply liner anymore. It's been too long. It's a skill you have to continue. It's a skill you have to continue practicing. I am going to take the champagne shade in my inner corner with the little brush. Ah, so much love for this shade. So much sparkle. Look at that. It's so beautiful. For mascara, old but a current favorite too is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Primer. That's not very different from usual, and I actually need to buy a new one. This one is so old, and it's starting, as you can see, not to coat my lashes anymore because it's so dried out. And unfortunately I don't have an old favorite. I'm gonna use my current mascara because I only have one open at a time, and I'm actually quite okay with that. I have a backup of the Lash Sensational mascara that used to be my favorite for many years, but now I'm using the Sky High, so I'm not gonna open a new mascara for a video. I'm sorry guys, that seems like a waste until this one is done, which probably is soon. I mean, I opened it, when is it, this summer? So we're reaching the 5-month mark, I guess. And it's starting to feel a bit dry. Ooh, so weird to see myself with eyeliner. Do you guys still do wings? Did you ever stop doing wings? Was it a trend thing? Does it suit your eye shape, or are you doing it because everybody else does? It can also be a very good reason. That's why I was doing it for the longest time. I thought I had to do wing liner to do my makeup, that my makeup was not complete without it. And I mean, I actually don't hate it. What do you guys think? I actually don't hate it. I'm going to use an old favorite lip combination of mine. I'm gonna start with MAC Chestnut Lip Liner. And on top of that, the lipstick Wonka by Mulak Cosmetics. I was never good at drawing in the lines. Also, this is old. It has to go. It tingles my lips. This is not normal. I'm gonna remove it immediately. But this used to be a favorite lip combination, and I'm very tempted to just buy the lipstick again because look at how beautiful it is. It's this deep chocolatey but red based brown. Love it. I should wear it more often. So, you guys, this is the finished full face of old favorites. Let's look at it from close up. The eyeshadow look is definitely in my ballpark, in my favorites still. This palette is really, really nice. Still very actual with the textures of the shadows. The highlighter is, I don't think it's bad actually, but I kind of see it on top of my skin, and I'm not used to seeing highlighter on top of my skin anymore. I also applied a very tiny amount. This will probably all be input for my declutter, by the way, so I might get rid of this one. The blush by Tarte, also not into matte blushes anymore. I think it's just not my cup of tea. I had to add on top the luminous blush, and the Hourglass powders are always, including this one, are always a guarantee. I recently also used the bronzer and the highlighter in a look just to go to work this week, and I loved them, and I needed to add a little bit of luminosity, even for my oily skin, I must say. And to be honest, the base looks a little bit heavier than I'm used to, but I know that because it's, in the end, it's double wear. We know it's a high coverage foundation, or like a medium coverage foundation, but I don't dislike it. The poreless look looks good. The color has settled to a bit of a different color than my neck currently, but it's not too off, and yeah, interesting, isn't it? Let me know in the comments if there are old products that you'd like to try again, or you have and you still love, or that you tried recently and that you don't love anymore. And let's be nice in the comments, but I also want to know your opinion on my wing liner. I don't think I hate it. I don't think I hate it. I would never take the time to do this on a daily basis, but I don't hate it. Fun, so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this throwback video of old favorites. I'm gonna go get rid of this lipstick because it tingles my lips, and I'm scared of, I don't know, permanent damage? Probably not, but you know, it's an old lipstick, and now I can really say it's over. But I love the color, and with Black Friday I might actually repurchase this one as well. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!